Hello, I'm here with Emily today. And we decided we're going to record a podcast episode, but we thought it would be fun to YouTube it as well. So this is the
I like
first.
how you say we.
Yes.
I did agree to after. It was your idea, though, which is a great idea.
Yes, I decided, and Emily was kind enough to go along. So I thought it'd be fun for our YouTube or our podcast audience to see what it looks like to record on this really high-tech equipment that I use for my podcast. So I'm going to start recording on the podcast now, and then we're going to keep talking. So this is going to be interesting. Welcome to LDS Unmarried Life, a podcast and today a YouTube episode for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who are single, either because they're divorced, widowed, or not yet married. This podcast can be found on AnnetteTalks.com, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. Did I already say that? I don't know. And iHeartRadio finally has it on there. Yes, I'm so excited because iHeartRadio is like the premier podcast platform or whatever you want to call it. So I've been waiting for them to approve me. So if you like iHeartRadio, go there now and start listening to all my episodes. Right now. You stop listening and watching. That's right. And go now. Well, our podcast audience won't know that we're pointing. So let's remember, I've decided, and Emily we decided to do something a little different today. And this podcast episode is also a YouTube video. Emily and I are sitting at home at my place recording ourselves because we thought it'd be fun for the audience to see us recording as well as our podcast audience to hear it. So today's episode.
I agree that it would probably be fun for some people.
Some people, maybe not us, but other people are. It's always weird looking at ourselves while we're filming, right? But then you know if you're
fixing my hair.
Yeah, you know that you're acting weird if you're looking and you're like, oh, I look weird. But it's kind of fun in a way at the same time. So anyway, today the episode is, I think I'm going to call it Meet the Singles. That's what I usually do when I interview someone. And today I'm interviewing Emily Ulmer, who is one of my, I'm sorry, was I supposed to say your last name? Is that all right? Okay. Who is one of my podcast regulars and also a good friend and a ward member. We've known each other since we were first, I think we were divorced around the same time. Weren't we? We met at Temple, singles night at the Temple one night. Yeah. And I sat next to Emily and we talked a little bit. And then I saw her again the next time and I sat next to you again the next time. And I was like, is this a requirement that when I come to singles night at the Temple, I have to sit next to you? And so when we're there at the same time, we sit next to each other. And then eventually we ended up in the same ward.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Because your sister.
Yeah, I moved from Aurora over here to Highlands Ranch. And I was like, and you were like, which ward are you going to end up in? And I told you, and you said, that's my ward.
I didn't even know your sister.
Oh, yeah, because she wasn't living here. She wasn't, This is her rental. That's too much information for our people. But so anyway, Emily and I hit it off, and that's been 4 years almost.
Yeah. I
will have been divorced 4 years next month. Not July 22nd. Not that I'm keeping track or anything like that. But so we hit it off.
It was about 4.5 years.
Yeah, you were out.
5 years this week.
Wow.
That the separation happened. Next week, actually, yeah.
All right, so you're a little bit further along than I am in some ways.
Well, some people go by separation, some people go by divorce.
Yeah, ours were pretty close. So
yeah, it's pretty close. So I didn't know that the separation was really going to be a for real thing, and then it was.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's life, right?
Yeah.
So I keep thinking I need to look at the camera too. So we have kids right around the same age.
Yeah, which works great.
Yes.
Because then we can go places and they can entertain each other, and it's not, they get along really great.
Yeah, and we're like, just go do your thing so we can talk.
And I have one older boy, and that really helps because you have 3 girls, and they're like, oh, look at that.
That's right. And
let's go
don't tell anybody, but my oldest daughter has a crush on her oldest son. Shh. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Although I'm sure she would say no. She always said no.
I tease her sometimes too, but hopefully not too bad because she's in my primary class.
Oh, yeah.
So I wrangle 11-year-olds.
Yeah, so. You can't be. No, yeah, so that's your calling.
Careful. Yeah.
You teach 11-year-olds.
Just separate my hats.
Yes. Yes, you know what? We were talking about that in Teacher and Development Sunday because one of the ladies is her daughter is in Young Women with her, and she's a Young Women leader.
Oh.
And I thought that's got to be really hard.
Yeah.
Because I always liked, the Young Women leaders to. I mean, it's like two separate things. Like
it always was really for hard. Me. Like you have your family, and then when you're in Young Women's, or maybe it's the same in Young Men's, that you get to be a different you.
Yeah.
And not that it's better or worse, it's just a different you.
Yeah, it's like you have to try and see your child a different way too, though. When your child is that person.
I guess from an adult's perspective, I've not had that yet.
I haven't either. I hope I don't. I don't ever want to go to girls' camp. Ever.
Oh, I will go for you.
Yes.
I love girls' camp.
You can take my place.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. So
why? Is it the getting up early or the sleeping on the ground kind of thing?
Oh, I hate sleeping on the ground. Sleeping on the ground is the worst. I hate being cold. But it's during the day when it warms up. I'm going for a morning hike. Just all the nature, and it's usually by water. I hate the part when it usually rains. We have to dig trenches in the middle of the night. Like that's no fun at all. But I love the adventurous, fun things that we get to do.
Yeah,
and they get to be silly in a very different way. And you see them cooking food, and you're like, wow, some people really got it down, and other people I'm like, wow,
they know how to do that. And some don't.
We need to. Maybe you should practice.
Hey, you know what? That makes me think that when my girls finally do go to they're old enough to do that, I need to get a report back from their leaders as to what areas they could use a little more.
We'll just cook at home and you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do group cooking classes.
Group cooking classes?
I had this thing last summer. Let's see, Eli's 11. So it was when he was 9 and then 10 for 2 summers in a row. We did this pretty strongly. And then throughout the year where he would cook. And I said, he was really mad about it at first, but only
this is your oldest son.
Mm-hmm, only because I asked. Mm-hmm. But if he asked to do something and it was his choice, then he wasn't that grumbly about it. Unless I got involved, like, oh, you need to put the noodles in when the water's boiling, not all together at the same time. Not that it's going to be that big of a deal, but it just gets mushier. Right. So he didn't like my tips and sharing what I had learned.
Yeah, kids don't
understand.
We don't know anything.
No, not really.
I mean, I think my daughter said
I pretend sometimes.
You don't know anything. I'm like, okay, all righty.
Well, he wouldn't do it like that. He's just more of, I thought I chose to do this for me on my own. And so I said, okay, how about this? I will give you a list of meals that you're good at. Like, I'm not going to give it to him, but we'll create it together. And I'll introduce some new things that I'm thinking like, oh, you're ready for that. You could totally do this. Or one of grandma's favorite dishes, or great grandpa's goulash, or, whatever. So things that were pretty easy to just mix together. And I would put those on a list and I'd say, okay, you get to cook 2 meals this week. And it's always dinner. Because breakfast is too easy.
Yeah. Here's your cereal. Here's your milk. Have at it.
I haven't taught him eggs yet, but I'm thinking as soon as I teach him eggs, he's going to do all the things with eggs because my brothers did. So I just think, guys.
That's a good thing. Yeah, men like to
all the things with eggs. Yeah. Like, what can we do with an egg? Not in the microwave.
No
microwave.
Well, that just sounds like he just wants to be independent, and that's they don't want mom.
But he's good at it. He's good, and he knows how to get things together. Makes ramen for himself every morning because he's decided he's a ramen guy.
Every morning, huh?
Every morning. I think it's just something hot and calming in his tummy.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you do need to introduce him to eggs. Well, you know what though? When I lived in Korea a long time ago, they used to when they would make the ramen, they would crack an egg on top of it. So he could do both.
Yeah, like a.
It's actually pretty good. It's like egg drop soup.
Oh,
that's what because when it's hot, the egg just kind of cooks in there.
Yeah.
All the fun things we talk about on LDS.
So even more things you can do with eggs.
So tell us what you like to do for fun.
Oh, I've been getting this question a lot on Mutual and LDS Planet.
Oh, really? Is that a dumb question?
No, it's just I find it a lot. And I love when guys ask it in creative ways.
Like what?
Oh, my goodness. You just asked me and they all just flew away because I was focusing on something else. When they come to me, I'll let you know. I
like creativity on Mutual and Planet too.
There's a couple of guys that have been pretty creative about it. And I can tell that they've read my profile because of the way they ask the question.
That's very smart, by the way, guys. If we know that you've actually read our profile, we are much more likely to respond to you instead of, hey, baby, or hey, good looking, or it's like, no. go in there and see that I like 80s music and dark chocolate, and then reference those in the same sentence would even be more impressive.
It is.
Like
but
what?
If they're not that creative, or they're nervous, or whatever it is, then I still reply to hey gorgeous. Thanks for the compliment.
So if a guy approaches you
bless
on
you,
Mutual or
bless face.
Planet, you're open to a conversation at least.
I will respond to anyone that says hi.
Wow. Yeah, have you noticed the same problem that I've noticed on Mutual, where you swipe up and they've swiped up, and so you have a match, and then they never do anything about it?
Yes, and so sometimes I will do something about it, just to get an experience of getting a conversation going and seeing where it might go. Most of them fizzle out. Some of them will go longer, but most of the time they fizzle out.
I don't understand this. This is a question I have for our listeners and viewers. Question. If you're on Mutual and you've swiped up, especially this is mostly for the men, if you're on Mutual and you've swiped up, why do you not then follow up with something?
That's a good question. 30-day dating challenge that Barbie Burke does. Several people ask that same thing. And
FYI, that's a different 30-day thing than I did.
That is a different 30-day thing.
It's like the opposite. It's like as many dates as you can get in 30 days, right?
No.
Oh.
No, it's try to get to 2 dates after knowing how to set up a successful profile and knowing how to do icebreaker, start a conversation. Reaching out to people after 48 hours for females if they haven't contacted you, things like that.
Were most of the people that did that challenge women?
Say the question again.
Were most of the people that did Barbie's dating challenge women? Or did you see many men, or do you know?
I did not count.
Okay, I'm just curious because
more people who spoke up were female.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's the problem. I mean, like when I did the 30-day bae thing and I was talking about it, 90% of the engagement was from women, and they all wanted to do the 30-day thing too. But I had like 0 men that wanted to do it. And so that could be the problem. But that still doesn't understand why we don't have people responding on Mutual, when they swipe up. What's the point?
I'm sure there's so many reasons, and I'm not one to wonder why or complain about why. I'm one to say, oh, it looks like maybe they're having a hard time with this.
With their computer? With their phone?
Who knows? I'm not going to conjecture anything. I'm just going to say, okay, I will start the conversation. And usually the conversations go really well.
Well, I've tried a couple times. I've done that where we've both swiped up. It's been a match, and they haven't done anything, so I've messaged and then nothing. And so I think that I almost want to do this again, where someone swipes up, I swipe up, and if nothing happens within 48 hours, send them a message and say, I dare you to get back to me. Something's got to change here.
Well, it's possible they just didn't look at it, because if notifications don't go through, then they don't see it or hear the ping or whatever. I think other times they're kind of pursuing a relationship, but they don't want to announce it, because what if it doesn't go?
So we might be like a plan B or something.
Well, not just me, but maybe the whole
everyone, right? Anyone that they're swiping up on is a plan B.
Ooh. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe they swiped up on me a long time ago, and now I'm just seeing it.
Or maybe they swipe up on everyone just to see who swipes up on them.
That's a good plan.
Maybe we should just start doing that. Swipe up on everyone. Everyone.
So I did recently. I've swiped up on, I would say close to 1,000 at this point since January. It's
a lot of swiping.
It's a lot of swiping.
It's like Dora. Swiper, no swiping.
Swipe. Lots. So just using the guideline that Barbie had out of, could you talk to this person for 30 minutes in public? And I thought, wow, that really broadens who I would swipe on.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Because if it looks like someone you could talk to for 30 minutes in public, that's like almost everybody. I mean, I can't even imagine.
I thought that at first, and then the more I conversed with people, the more I kind of got a feel for the way their profile was set up, if it was missing a lot of things, not very many pictures or missing information or no pictures, depending on what the app or site was. Then I realized, this person, either they're not a real person or they're too shy for what I'm wanting, for what I'm ready for.
It seems like a lot of people don't fill out the Mutual very much at all.
Mutual?
Just like pictures.
Oh, I've seen lots of pictures.
I mean, they pictures, but not a lot of content,
info?
of profile information, like very little. So I guess mutual is more
Yeah.
pictures. But so
So then I start with their
Planet's
mission.
different.
Oh, you served a mission in blank. What were the best and worst, or something like that. That's one of my first conversation starters. If they don't start a conversation, because I just wait until it's like 2 days, 4 days, 18 hours. I'm like,
Oh, when you have that much time left before it times you out and says you're not a match anymore.
Yeah, and we're automatically unmatched.
It makes me want to start playing some games on there.
Back in the puddle.
Like, because if they're dumped back in the pile, you can swipe on them again, can't you? Or do they disappear?
I think they disappear.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever tried to swipe twice.
I don't know. On someone that I've swiped up on, that I don't let them go.
Oh, you just keep talking?
No, yeah.
I mean,
I don't ever. You're mine! Was it like the cyclist one? No. Not like that at all.
No, Emily's not a stalker.
No, so I usually wait until, like, give them enough time to start the conversation, because that's kind of a man's opportunity to do that. And so I let them do that. And then if they don't, then I'll start a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so that it doesn't pass. And I don't know that I've ever seen someone who was unmatched for me, or the conversation never went anywhere and it timed out. I don't remember.
It never timed out.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I have to look again, because I've had 3 or 4 matches where nothing ever went past. Like, one guy said hello and I said hi, and then nothing. And so like 2 days later I replied and I said this was the shortest relationship ever or something. And then he never responded. I mean,
I've said jokes before.
I said jokes. I said, the first one that guy said, I said, oh, doesn't this remind you of Dora, swiper, no swiping? Nothing. Crickets. I'm like, why'd you swipe up on me and then ignore my funny stuff?
Because you've got funny stuff.
Yeah, I do. We both have good. We both have really good stuff. We're good stuff right here. We're just all amazed that we're singles. You know what? Okay, so I took you way off on this path about dating, and I was asking you about what you do for fun, and then I cut you off. So tell us what you do for fun.
Lots of things. I love to go. I love being outside, but I love a lot of indoor stuff. I love
like indoor tennis.
That or.
I watched it recently.
I'll just check yes or no.
Keep breaking in. So what's the indoor stuff? I'm curious.
Movies, coloring, and this is a lot of stuff with my kiddos.
I was going to say, I see all the coloring.
So my brain just kind of shuffled the whole pile of, like taking playing cards and Uno cards. It just shuffled it all together. Things I do with singles and things I do with my children just got shuffled together in my brain. So
never to be confused, right?
Children and singles.
Come over and color with me tonight. Although actually, like an adult coloring book, and I don't mean like rated R. You know what I'm talking about? Those ones where you have colored pencils. Yeah. Those are actually very relaxing. Yeah. I actually enjoy doing those because they take you out of your brain, and it's nice. So that could be a nice little thing.
For a short time, I'm like ready to go. Yeah. I don't really sit still very, very often. I mean, if I do, I don't know, something that I'm really interested in, like reading or creating something.
But I know that you're an avid snowboarder.
This season, yes, beginner. Any tips are welcome. I just started. I fell a lot. My arms and my upper body, my back, I never knew could hurt that bad.
And Emily is quite athletic and, she's a lot more athletic than I am. Let's put that way. Snowboarder, I don't think I'd stay up for very long at all. So that's impressive that you're out there doing that.
I love it. Yeah, it's lots of fun. So I'm up and I fall maybe twice now. And if it's icy, it's usually at the beginning when I'm not familiar or comfortable and it's icier than I was thinking it would be, things like that. Yeah, my children learned to ski, and they are teaching me because someone let me borrow their 18-year-old daughter's skis, and they fit me.
Yeah. Well, you're a little petite thing. So Emily's a little petite thing. For those of you that are listening only, go to YouTube and check her out because she's a cute little petite thing. We're going to sell each other right into a marriage somehow, some way. I don't know.
That works.
Yeah. So, winter sports, you like skiing and snowboarding, and
snowshoeing has been fun. Now, these things that I like to do, it's not like I keep picking on the chair. Sorry, I don't know if that's noisy.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's a trick I have, I guess.
But now we are almost summer. I mean, we're actually June. I'm going to post this today. Today's June 4th. And we just got through with Mayuary, as we called it here, because we had snow in May, and it's been crazy. But
I loved it because I got to snowboard longer.
Without
she
my
loved
children.
It. So, but I didn't go this week though. There's a couple places closing this Sunday.
Really?
And I'm not out there. I'm sad.
That is sad. What summer you got now? What do you do during summer?
Swim, bike, mountain bike, road bike. I used to do a lot of triathlons, half marathons.
Yeah, you're athletic. That's very athletic. I'm tired just listening to this. I'm like, where's my Netflix and my
I guess when I'm out there, I see the elites and I'm like, not for me.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I don't get hurt on this course.
Well, have you done 14ers?
Yep, I've done a couple 14ers.
I have not done one yet. So
we need to do one.
Yes, we need to. Okay, this summer.
You know the easiest ones?
14er, one 14er. I just want to do one for sure. We just did Pinky Promise for podcast people.
You can drive up to Evans and Pike and then Pikes Peak, and then you can just walk like a couple yards, and you're like,
That's great. That's not quite what I had envisioned, although I like the idea of going up there, driving up. That's down in the Springs, right?
Pikes Peak,
yeah. I think I drove up there.
They do a marathon and half marathon on that one. That's like ultra. I don't do ultra races.
Oh, no. Yeah. That just sounds like ultra. Yeah.
It sounds like hungry work.
Yeah, hungry work.
Marathons are hungry work. I get hungry, then I get hangry, and
I'm like, you get hangry?
This is not fun anymore.
No.
And then I notice all the pains. I'm like, this is 5 miles is nothing. Yeah. 5 miles, I can do 5 miles. Oh, gosh. I do 5 miles for breakfast. I can do this.
Don't go grocery shopping hangry, by the way.
No.
That's really bad. You come out with like a basket full of chocolate and bagels. You know?
Especially during your marathon.
Yeah.
Especially don't do that.
No. You shouldn't stop a marathon and go shopping.
Hey, if you're hungry.
Oh, dear. This is why Emily and I are friends. We can do the goofy together. So, no, we do need to do a 14er.
Yeah,
because I do like to hike.
We're swimming with our girls and with our kiddos, library days.
Yeah.
I love concerts at the park.
Yes, Thursday. It starts again this Thursday, 6:30.
Movies at the park.
Yes.
Ballet at the park. I think
ballet
is doing something at Civic Green.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think you have to get tickets. I don't remember if they cost anything, but you need to get.
There's an 80s concert in August that I have a ticket to. I don't know if anybody else in the whole world has got a ticket yet.
I saw that, and I don't remember. I haven't signed up yet, and I don't remember if it's because I don't know what's going on or I have my children. Yeah, if I have my children,
it's a Saturday in August. But you local people, there's an 80s concert, and it's at Fiddler's Green in August. And it's got like Flock of Seagulls and lots of other good people. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I thought you were talking about wildlife around there. I have no idea what Flock of Seagulls is. There's seagulls.
Yeah.
There's music and life and seagulls.
Maybe you're not quite as old as I am, so you don't remember when MTV
Hey, I can catch up. Just give me the links. I'll catch up.
Do you know Flock of Seagulls?
No.
Oh, my goodness. We're going to be playing some YouTube after we're done with this. Okay.
Deal.
You don't know I ran so far away. All right.
Sing it.
I'll stop torturing people. So let's see. What else do we need to know about Emily? So you have 3 kids that are ages.
I like to do all the things. But not stamp collecting. I did that one.
Stamp collecting now.
Cross stitch is boring.
Yeah.
I'd rather just buy a picture.
Seriously. Although painting can be fun and very therapeutic.
It can be.
I've only done it one time.
It's so sweet and entertaining. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Shelley does painting.
Oh, yeah, Shelley's awesome.
She's done groups with my children and I a couple of times. Yeah.
No, Shelley's great. If you're local and you know Shelley Caravel, she's awesome. Yeah. I did a YouTube video with her. Look it up on my YouTube channel while you're here.
Yeah, she's so kind.
She's wonderful.
Even when there's like groups of singles that are like talking way too much and not painting. Even though she's like totally angry and frustrated and flustered inside, maybe not angry, but flustered. She's like,
she doesn't get angry.
She doesn't. Well, on the inside.
Sorry, Shelley. I didn't mean to turn this into a conversation about you.
She's awesome. She doesn't even show it at all. You wouldn't know it unless you know her really well.
She's very sweet. Very kind. Yeah. She was able to teach my girls, which was great. So what else do we need to know about you? What do you do for a living?
I work with special needs students. So I've worked with elementary students for 9 years. 5 years was a gen ed teacher, general classroom lead teacher. And I was so intrigued by how to help those with special needs because honestly, as a classroom teacher, I felt like, it would be great if we could make these kinds of accommodations for every single student. And now it's required, and I do not want to be a gen ed teacher. It's so much work. But it's amazing what can be done with resources and teaming together and differentiating for students' needs. I love it. So I did 5 years with general education, and then decided I'm too detail-oriented for that. It's too much. I like to focus on small groups. Unless it's like fun things. I loved recess and PE and like science experiments and reading together and readathons. I loved like the activity things with groups. Those are fun. But I didn't like when you actually had to work and you had to help them. I love it. And I was like,
well, everybody has parts of their jobs they don't like, but they have to be small parts of their job, not the majority.
They are pretty small people. So.
Very cute. So,
so right now I'm working with 18 to 21-year-olds in a bridge program.
Okay.
I love it.
Those are not small people then.
They're not.
Those are big people.
But there's such sweetness in these
big
adult bodies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Such sweetness.
You have to have a lot of patience to do that, I'm sure.
People tell me that a lot. I don't know.
You do. I see you with your kids, and you have a lot more patience than I do.
Okay.
So Emily has a lot of patience. And she's athletic. Did I mention that? And a lot of fun. And she goes to the temple, and she's active in church.
I love volunteering at the temple. So I was set apart in 2015. So I've been doing this a couple of years at the baptistry. And I help once a month.
That's awesome.
And then I volunteer other times filling in. I have to go once a week, though. It's a need.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's my centering need. I need it.
Do you get there even when you have the kids?
No.
So
nope. It's like they come on Thursday, and so I should have gone on Wednesday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So now that when Denver closes, I'm going to have to go up to Fort Collins for 4 months.
No, it's a hike.
So
it's a nice temple up there, though.
It is, but it's an hour one way.
It's an hour and a half almost from here.
Oh, with traffic, you're right. Like after
well, maybe if you go on a Saturday, not quite as bad.
I don't know. When summer's off,
yeah,
maybe I can.
It is. I got pop-ups on my computer.
Malware.
Yeah. So, so it sounds like you have a pretty well-rounded life going on here.
I feel like I do. One of my hobbies is with reading about relationships and emotional intelligence, and so I try not to talk to people about it because I've noticed I'm not nearly as fluent in relationships and people as Brene Brown, but I have noticed that I have to be. Oh, yeah, no one is. Who could be? But when I start talking about it, some people want to talk about it, and others like, oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I'm done.
So then your emotional intelligence comes up and says, okay, we don't need to talk about this anymore. Let's shift gears.
I'll take you where you're at.
Well, some people really just want surface discussion, and other people want.
I have a hard time with surface discussion.
Yeah, me too. That's because we're introverts, and we like deep discussions.
Yeah.
So.
Because that's where the connection happens, and that's what my soul seeks.
Yes. But you're good in a group and one-on-one. So.
I do love both. I love a crowd.
Yeah.
And I
love a parade.
A parade.
The song.
I love a parade.
I love a parade. I don't even know what that's from. It's one of those old people things like Flock of Seagulls that only us people. But wait, how old are you? 42?
42 and a half.
And a half. I was right, though. Yes. I was afraid you never want to get it wrong, especially don't want to be older.
42 and a half is Thursday.
Huh? No, your birthday's this week?
42 and a half.
Oh, and a half. Your half birthday. Sorry.
Half
you do not want to miss a friend's birthday.
No. But if you missed it, I would just say, well, let's make it up to me because
now you
makeup birthdays are even better.
Is that
I'm making it a thing right now.
Makeup birthday. Well, especially if you have a boyfriend at the time. Honey, makeup birthday. Sorry. That went off the rails a little bit. All right. Well, I guess that means we should probably wrap it up here pretty soon. It's trying to go off into some uncharted territory a little bit. So what do you think, what should our listeners and viewers know about you? This is Doug's question. This is one of my favorite questions. So is there anything that you think that they should know about you? No? We've talked about all those. I should have warned you. We've talked about a lot of things. So I'm just going to then give a final plug. Okay, go ahead.
I guess that I love people. I love interacting with people. I think that's my thing. I love people.
You're a people person. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little cliche, but you actually are.
But I'm both. I'm like ambivert. Is that?
Ambivert. Yeah, I think that is a thing. They have different terms for that. Like I consider myself an outgoing introvert because I love being in front of an audience. And I like groups.
Those ways of describing people, that's too confusing.
There's too many.
I'm just going to say I'm both.
You're both. Yes. Good. Excellent. Me too.
Cool.
All right. So if you're listening on the podcast, go to YouTube and look up the video and you can see us being silly on video. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to hear it again, but thank you, computer, for your notifications. If you're watching on YouTube and you just want to hear it in your car.
That's that cowboy sound. Like when we were in college.
Are you talking about my update?
Put on Max.
Anyway, if you have watched this on video and you just want to listen because it was that much fun, then listen on the podcast. But you can find my podcast on AnnetteTalks.com. And I have to put in a plug. My book is out. It's LBS Unmarried Life.
I have not read it yet. But I haven't
Emily.
I know, because you gave it to me in digital version.
She's a bad friend. Just kidding. It's called LBS Unmarried Life, a Survivor Guide or something.
I know, with all the things I read, you think I would have.
It's called Dating After Divorce and LDS Survival Guide. Sorry, I have to give my title to my book guide. My podcast is called LDS Unmarried Life. That can be found at AnnetteTalks.com. I have too many things to remember. And so go to AnnetteTalks.com, subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, please rate it and review it or whatever. There's something you can do on iTunes that will get more people to listen. Check me out on iHeartRadio. Go to Facebook /Annette Talks. Just all over the place. You can find me everywhere. And so thank you, Emily, for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for listening to LDS Unmarried Life, a place where singles gather. And bye. We're clear.
Scene.